Welcome to the Dangerous Man Podcast, where we talk about how to become a better man, take responsibility for our mission, create value for others, and the many failures and lessons we've learned along the way. Stay dangerous.
Welcome back to The Dangerous Man. I am your host, Adam Tuff, joined by co-host
John Castoris.
What is up, John?
We back.
We back at it, boys. We back. Crazy.
This is gonna be a good one, man. And we talk about like we talk about like what does it mean to claim your greatness, Like I think that's kind of what we're getting into today. And
that's one of our mantras, yeah.
Yeah, I think we're gonna kind of crack into that tonight. And I know you have a kind of a juicy thing you wanted to say here at the beginning too.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I love being here in our Dangerous Men's clubhouse and recording this podcast. Something I was thinking about recently was, you know how a lot of people say, like, be yourself,
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then be Batman or something like that. Like some random thing like that. But when people say like, oh, be yourself, sometimes I'm just like, well, what does that even mean? Like, I don't know who I am. So like, how can I be myself if I don't know who I am? Like the fuck,
Wow.
Because it's just like, I don't understand. If I don't understand who I am, how do I know how to be myself? And how do I know I'm being myself when I am being myself? And I think
dropping bars here. This is good.
When we think of like, oh, be yourself. Like what kind of picture comes to your mind a lot when you say like, oh, be yourself? For me, I think this is for a lot of people too. The thing that comes to mind is I'm being myself when I'm talking to other people, when I'm interacting with other people, when I'm hanging out with my friends.
Yes.
It's in our interactions with others. And sometimes we are afraid of being ourselves. But like, why is that? Right? And I was kind of going into this, thinking about this. I was talking to John a little bit. And I kind of realized, I did door-to-door sales for a while. And with door-to-door sales, you'll like, get dropped off in a random ass neighborhood where you don't know anybody and just have to go knock on a door, and hopefully you're not like knock knock knock. I don't know if you can. I would love to knock on something, but I don't know if maybe you can put those.
He knocked on something.
Yeah, I knocked on something, but I don't know if it comes through the mic. So you could go knock knock knock. Oh hey sir, could you please buy some cameras from me to put on your house? Sir? Door in face. I'm like, and then
see ya.
Yeah, and then the next guy, you knock on his house and no one comes to the door. You just hear through the window, "Get the fuck off my porch." Oh, sorry, sir. Sorry. So then you backed up.
Dang.
It's like people don't treat you like a human, unless you actually like, give yourself some respect.
Yeah.
And I just remember I did door-to-door sales in Chicago. And I just remember like the first 2 weeks in, like I moved to Chicago, didn't really know anybody. First 2 weeks, I felt like everyone hated me because of the knocking on some people's doors and then them just not treating me like a human. And eventually I came to realize down the road, because I did it so much, I realized, oh wait, it's like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. when I'm knocking on these people's doors. These people are like probably working from home, and every door-to-door salesman knocks on their door because they think they're home.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're just annoyed by people in general. So they're letting the part of them that is their asshole kind of, dictate what they're doing. And it's kind of how I dealt with it from there. It's like, so I kind of dismissed that in a way. But something that I realized recently is like, actually like that like there's a fear of like, oh, these people think I'm annoying. That almost is still stuck with me when I'm just talking to people out and about. Like,
wow,
there's an expectation for me to be annoying that I have to fight against in almost like every conversation. Yeah,
damn.
Which like is sometimes crushing, honestly. And it pisses me off because it's like, why is this? But I just recently traced that back to, I think that was effective. Me doing door-to-door sales. And I grew a lot doing door-to-door sales. I don't regret it at all. But like, it's like, oh, that's why. Like, that's why I feel that way when I talk to people where I'm like, oh, they probably already hate me, even though I have absolutely no evidence to back that up at all.
Right. That's like just a thought that's in your head.
Yeah. It's like, they haven't even said anything to me yet.
Wow. like you're going in already being like, and they hate me. Knock, knock, knock.
Like,
I'm sorry. Just like
I'm always going to like a comfortable, please like me. Please, kind sir. Please like me. Cause it's just like, there's like a little, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's like just like a little bitch voice or what. But me and John were kind of talking about this and figuring out, wait a minute, there's something that we can do about this. And I believe, John, you were actually looking at a online course about this a couple of weeks ago, right?
Yeah, this came out of a Think and Grow Rich kind of seminar I attended that I alluded to. Napoleon Hill writes a book called Think and Grow Rich. So really, really awesome content. But anyways, there was this woman that gets up on stage and she kind of gives a blip. She gives a little bit of a talk, a little section of the presentation. And it was fascinating, Adam, because she was pretty bubbly, but her content was so captivating to me. She simply was, talking about charisma, talking about how you speak and how you connect with people, how you present from stage, how do you, it was all about like, how do you deliver your message to people? I think this is really relevant for men. We're called to be communicators and leaders. And I know a man often isn't respected or able to be a leader. People don't follow him when he can't communicate well. And really, communication is the essence of everything we do as humans, And if I can't communicate a message to somebody, then I can't really change people's lives. I can't really add value to them. It's really isolating. And it's probably a huge source of anxiety, slight can of worms, but, is that I can't be myself and connect with people. So clearly there's some value to communication that everyone can see, whether they know it, that it's great because they feel confident, or they know that it's great because they lack that skill and they are unconfident and they can't connect with people and therefore are afraid and anxious. And so we all realize communication is really, really, really valuable. And you probably hear us talk a lot about it on the show, but this lady was giving her presentation and she basically said there's like all the variety of charisma styles that you can have. And one of them is right for you. And the others are not you. And when you fall into one of them and you start communicating, people like feel weird or they don't really believe it or it seems unnatural. And your content could be good, but really the biggest difference she was saying was you slip into your style, your charisma style, and people listen and they love what you say and you're really effective because it was so you. It was so genuine. And it was so believable. And so that was kind of it kind of sparked an interesting thing for Adam where we're talking and, over some nice, delicious steaks and ground beef burgers and
freaking organic grass-fed.
Freaking get it, dog.
Yeah.
And so good, dude. Oh man.
We like again. The meats, but not Arby's. Anyway.
Yeah. Fuck you, Arby's. Anyways.
Don't sue us.
Yeah. And it was funny because this, like, what's your charisma style? I don't. What's your, we were kind of talking about that, and it spawned us kind of thinking like, man, how often have I really left my greatness, my potential on the table because I was afraid to be myself and to communicate in a way that I could be confident. Put aside what is my charisma style, John? Like okay, like there's probably a little bit of some steps to figure that out, but like think about this, like take a step back and let's think about this. Like oftentimes I remember when I was younger, like I felt like I didn't have a voice. I felt like I couldn't speak loudly. It was hard to be confident. And I can remember being a little boy and just I was a shadow in my siblings, everywhere they went. Or when I was with my dad, he was the one that did the communicating, right? That's
what happens when you're like in like the younger kids of your family, as both me and John are.
Right, older siblings.
Yeah.
And so it is interesting that when you look at the path of like, okay, when did I really become a man, and when did I kind of discover my own voice and my own confidence, and along the what I want to key on is a little bit of our stories and thoughts here about that. Of well, what was the turning point for you, Adam, or for me, and maybe still at times, what was the turning point where I kind of was willing to, I was able to see that I had greatness I could step into,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, I'm curious to kind of hear your thoughts on that. And then,
yeah, I mean, like while we're on this topic of kind of like charisma and, what kind of like, yeah, like, I guess I think for everyone, I think we should kind of like let people understand what charisma is. So I'm like, maybe not everyone understands what charisma is. And if you don't know what charisma is, maybe you've never played Dungeons and Dragons, and that's okay. That you're not a nerd, that's okay. But it's basically the way that you kind of like interact with people. Generally, people that are considered charismatic is people will like to listen to them, like being around them, because they're dynamic and they're goofy or they're funny or there's different styles to it, like we're talking about. But they make people around them feel good generally, so they want to be around them more. And it's kind of the charisma is the way that someone is when it comes to interacting with people, that makes them have like power in dealing with people.
Yeah. So good.
But
every person is called to have charisma and to kind of learn and discover that talent, that skill, develop that skill, and develop style with it, Yeah, I mean, it makes me think of this thing, Adam, where it's, gosh, like for so long, I did not believe in myself.
Yeah.
Right? You asked the question earlier, like, what does it mean to be yourself? What does it even freaking mean? It's like, oh, be yourself. And I love that you drew it back to like visualizing, like how do you visualize yourself with people? That's usually how you think about it.
Yeah.
But it's like for so long, man, I was in such a prison of fear. I didn't even know, like you said, I didn't even know myself. Like, how the heck how could I have a voice when everything I would say, or if I try to speak up, I felt like people like weren't listening to me, or they didn't want to hear what I had to say. Right. Or I was like, oh, I feel like a fraud.
Yeah.
Speaking up and be like, I don't even, like, it just didn't feel, it's just so interesting. If you've ever played guitar or piano for the first time, and they're kind of just like, it's just like this really good quote from the end of Monsters, Inc., the movie, animated movie. And they have animated outtakes, which if you think about it, animated outtakes. So they created outtakes of them messing up digitally made movie.
Yeah. I wonder if it was like bloopers from what they were like talking into, like the voice
then they
actors,
animated it?
and then they just animated it.
You know, that would probably be really smart. And now that I say that out loud, that maybe was it. But
I think that's probably what they did to actually like, oh, this would be a funny thing to throw in the end, which it was. So
it was. I thought it was so well done too. But one of the bloopers is Mike Wazowski takes the little girl Boo. And it's like when they open the door for the last time and she's going into her room, and then, you know, they're going to shred the door after and never see her again. Right.
Yeah.
And so Boo walks.
Kind of like the client, like the ending of the story kind of thing.
It's like the most important part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And this is the best outtake ever. Boo goes in there, and then Mike Wazowski in the movie, he goes, okay, go grow up. But then in the outtake, he's like, okay, go throw up. And it was so funny. But now when I think about it, I'm like, you know, it's like, I didn't even know myself. And it's kind of just like, okay, John, like go throw up. And it's like,
like you used to kind of live in this kind of prison of like fear around talking to people.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was like, oh, be like charismatic and like, you know, like be with people how you want to be with people, you just hear, or like you may even hear be yourself, and you go, and that really is like, okay, John, be yourself, go throw up.
Yeah.
Like, and
go figure it out, you know,
like,
so like, oh.
That's like the crazy thing is like, I think a lot of people would even like label themselves with like anxiety or like social anxiety. Even.
Oh my.
Like, I labeled myself with social anxiety. Maybe it was labeled by other people, but on me too, as having social anxiety in high school.
Yeah.
But like also just like I feel like that's just kind of a weird label because like everyone in high school I feel like has a little bit of anxiety and like wants to be cool but doesn't really know how to be cool necessarily. So it's like this weird like awkward thing. And I think that's fine. Like that's just kind of how it is because you're all like learning how to be humans.
Yeah.
But like I think it wasn't until I like went and did like missionary work where I had to like speak in front of like a bunch of like kids.
Right.
Until I was like, oh, I have to figure out how to actually like be entertaining in front of people, or at least be interesting in front of people to hold their attention. Wow. Because I remember like the first time I had to like get up in front of like kids and like actually talk and say stuff that compels them. I was terrified. Like petrified, like frozen, like because petrified is like frozen in stone. Like I was like,
wow,
like
Han Solo over here.
Yeah,
freaking frozen in carbonite.
Frozen in carbonite. Like,
was that your face too?
Like Boba Fett was coming after me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh shit! I gotta get up in front of people. Oh shit!
Yeah, basically. So it was like really, really hard. Because I was doing something that we called like opening session, which is kind of like just like the first thing that we did on these events. And it was super hard for me at the beginning, but I kind of like just embraced it. One, because I had to.
Go throw up.
Yeah. So, it's like, yeah, maybe I had to throw up a couple times, and then I figured out how to actually eat food properly, metaphorically. Where actually towards the end of that year of missionary work, people on my like missionary team actually said I was like one of the best people at doing opening session.
Dang.
Which is like I went from being like petrified, scared,
come on, dude,
shaking in my boots, of like talking in front of these youthens,
okay,
to being one of the people that are just like, I'm just going up there and I'm being goofy and be like, all right, guys, this is what we're gonna do.
Just owning it.
Yeah, and just owning it. And I realized, wait a minute, this is okay. This is being myself. Like I'm just confident in who I am, and I just let that come out.
Come on, dude.
And like, okay, that's more of like what it means to be myself. But when we were talking about charisma styles, that John was like looking at this course from and that they were bringing up, and I don't remember all of them, but the one that stuck out to me the most was performance. Mostly because I think that's the one that that is my charisma style. I might have to look at the other ones just kind of confirm this, but it's the one that stuck out to me the most. And I remember that at the beginning, I was like, oh no, I don't know if I want to be that person that's always performing and stuff. Like but maybe I kind of want to be that guy that has like kind of like just like the witty, snarky, like one-liners and like is just kind of like witty and stuff.
The Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
or
something like that. Like it's just like, and it's like close to even like being able to deadpan stuff. And it's just funny because I feel like those people that are really good at that, like they just excrete like humor and like the desire to be around them. At least that's kind of what I picked up on. But then I think she went into like certain aspects of charisma that every single style of charisma like covered. And like with that, I was like, okay, good. Okay. I still have like,
do those
I can
things.
still be like powerful. I can still like, you know, like I forget all the things because I didn't actually like take this course. It was more of like, an overview. But the thing that really stuck out to me is like, I can like, I'm not like pigeonholed into this one like charisma style. So I'm like stuck in there and I have to be in it the whole time. And I just have to like buckle down and embrace this sucky thing that this is my charisma style. It's more like, no, this is my charisma style. And I can do all of the things within this, but it's because it's my charisma style, it sets me free to be able to actually like express myself in a way that people understand, receive, actually like understand that I am good. And like actually like the version of myself that people are going to like because I'm being myself. I'm taking what's from my head and giving it to the people and the people like it because I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like almost a mindset change thing that's happening is, like from door-to-door sales, I just feel like everyone finds me annoying because, well, when you're selling, sometimes you kind of annoy people because they don't want some people don't want what you're selling, but then you get the people that want what you're selling and then you sell them the system. Their kids draw pictures of you and they feed you dinner. That actually happened.
There's a different story there.
so there's that other side of it too. And I think in a lot of those situations where like crazy stuff like that happened, where I actually did like sell like a security system and like they like the people that I was selling it to like happened to be having dinner at the time, so they gave me some food and that kind of thing. And it was and when I allowed myself to actually like kind of embrace my charisma style and just be myself, it probably made me less tense and way more like trustworthy.
Yeah.
And actually just kind of what they actually wanted me to be in like a person, which allowed me to actually get the sale. Which is like, like other people want me to be good. Like when a door-to-door salesman knocks on my door, I want them to be I would love to run into the best salesman in the company. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like I want them to be really good at what they do. And that's, so my expectation isn't that they're going to annoy me and they're going to suck and they're going to be terrible. My expectation is they're going to be good, if not great, you know? And that's kind of what I realize is like the people that I run into, whether it's out and about at the gym or in the supermarket or wherever, I want to run into some dope people.
Come on.
You know, like I want to run into some cool ass people. Because why wouldn't I want to be around some awesome people? But isn't that kind of what everyone else is thinking too? Like, wow. Wouldn't it be nice to be around some awesome people and just run into awesome people all of the time?
Yeah, man. It makes me think of I was in Chicago. This is back in 2021, maybe something like that, a couple of years ago. And I got invited to play music, to to come in and play a set at a concert and get to play some original songs and
doing some dope shit.
Dude, it was so fun, man. And I love performing as well. And I remember talking to one of the guys and one of the other musicians who's going to go and do a set. And he said, he was newer to the performance space. And I had done it quite a bit more and been on stage a lot, doing different ministry settings, doing, microphones and definitely just much more comfortable in front of people. And then I was kind of preparing, tuning my guitar, all of that stuff. And kind of just like one thing I told him was, look, man, I heard this once from a performer and a musician and a comedian that I really respect. I can't remember which specific one it was. It kind of blurs into a variety of memories. I can't remember which exact interview it was from because I've heard a lot. But the guy was basically saying like, look, man, when you get on stage, people like paid money to be there. Like they're not going to be like, man, can't wait till this loser comes up and then we can just shut them down. It's like, dude, they like they're like a dinner theater, perhaps, and they went there to be entertained. Like it is their expectation and their hope and their desire that you are funny. And so they're actually like for the first few seconds, it's like you only have a few seconds to capture their attention. It's like, yeah, but they're like really eager and hoping that you're going to be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And that's their mindset. And dude, that changed everything for me because I swear, I was telling this guy at the concert, I was like, I visualized them smiling, laughing, enjoying. When I do like, when I make a sassy face or kind of move my hips to a certain part of the guitar, like a song, or at one point I kind of get everyone snapping and I'm kind of bopping around with my head and I'm owning the space, man.
You're getting people into it, and that's what they want.
They want to be into it.
Yeah.
And so when I'm like, I feel uncomfortable being myself and kind of getting like, dude, they dig it, man. That's why they're there. Like this is the mindset.
Yeah.
They want you to win.
Yeah.
They want you to be awesome. And so I realized for so long that my fear held me back from just stepping into being awesome. And sure, like maybe you're not used to being on stage and being a little spunky. Like maybe you're so nervous you can't even really be yourself. And obviously that comes with some practice. And, I've learned how to overcome severe like shakiness and like adrenaline and perform with focus and clarity and calmness. Like that takes some practice for sure.
Yeah.
But I think the main reason like between me being anxious, like think about everybody can relate to this, social anxiety to some extent. The difference between, I have social anxiety and I rock and roll around people.
Yeah.
It's less of an internal state and it's more of an attitude.
Yeah.
That this is actually like excitement.
Which as we talked before on the podcast, you can control your attitude. Anyway.
Heck yeah. I had a mentor tell me this. He's like, John, I don't think you're anxious about this. I think you're just excited. And I went, wow, holy shit. I've been looking at my life completely backwards. Like I've gotten shaky, adrenaline, like kind of like the feelings of anxiety. And I've realized I've had to pause myself, even and multiple scenarios and even in the last week and go, I'm just excited.
Yeah. And
then I went, oh, hell yeah, I'm excited.
Hell
and like, yeah, am I on adrenaline? Yeah. But is that good? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna help me like freaking like when you walk into a conversation and you gotta kind of be on and you gotta be dynamic and bubbly, like that adrenaline helps you do that. So it's like, so I think just learning to interpret this was just like what changed everything was my fear is me thinking that others like want me to suck. But I think what we're finding is like, that was just like a very rare scenario in door-to-door sales. But the majority of time, people are actually really hoping that you're awesome.
Yeah.
And then you have the permission to be awesome. Yeah. And that really directly connects to your charisma, and your communication styles.
Yeah. So in high school, like I might have been labeled with having social anxiety, but I actually had social excitement. Like
Come on, dude.
I think back to like high school. And I'm like, I actually wanted to talk to everybody, but because I wanted to talk to everybody so bad, I couldn't decide who to talk to. And that's actually kind of where the anxiety came from. I was like, shit, I can't talk to everybody. Damn it. Where it's like, oh man, I want to, like there's 2 friend groups and I want to spend time with both of them. But at the same time, I'm wondering if I don't spend all of my time with one of these friends group, they're going to think I'm not loyal. And then I'm not going to be in the clique.
Oh my.
Even though I didn't have my high school didn't have that strong of cliques, but there was like groups.
So much that we create in our heads, know, and in reality, nobody's putting that on us, but ourselves. And just like my encouragement to everybody would be that you will have a story like Adam and I to share. This is when I realized that I could have permission to step in, to being myself and having charisma around people. And that moment is like you can choose that next time you're in a social scenario.
Yeah.
And then that moment that you're going to get through, by the way, you're going to get through it, is going to be a memory forever that you're going to tell like Adam and I just did. It's going to be your proof that you can do this. And that you've been interpreting it as fear, but really it's just been excitement. And like, think about it. Like everyone probably has a desire to be comfortable in social scenarios.
Yeah. And to enjoy social scenarios and have a good time and laugh and be like, man, I really enjoyed being around these people. That's what everybody wants out of social like stuff.
Yeah. That fear is just kind of a little bit of a frustration.
Yeah.
It's speaking to your soul and your heart and going like, Adam, you like this, you want this so deeply. And that you feel overwhelmed because you're not there yet. But to take a step back and go, it's okay. Like I'm not there right now, but like I desire it.
Yeah.
And the excitement that unlocks, like, dude, everyone listening, like, I swear, like, have that epiphany and you're going to feel like peace and excitement flow through you. Cause you're like, wait a minute, I can give myself permission to have dreams again. And to realize I'm going to be great and that I'm invited to embark on that becoming myself.
Bro, this makes me like rethink my social interactions and be like, dude, why am I not like trying to like, if I have to work in with somebody on the machine at the gym or I have to ask someone to spot me, why am I not trying to, just crack some jokes with them and like, make their freaking day, And it's like, well, if I fail, like it would have been the same thing as if they didn't like work in with me or spot me at all anyway. So it's like, if I fail, it didn't really make a difference. But if I succeed, I could take a person from feeling kind of bad to feeling freaking amazing. And that could like freaking change somebody's day. You could make a good friend and that good friend could like lead to an opportunity where you could make more money or you could like meet a whole bunch of other awesome people. Who knows?
Or change someone's life.
Yeah, dude. Like
leave them with things they'll remember the rest of their life.
And here's the awesome thing. So you can have a ton of fun while doing it.
Hell yeah.
Dude, like, that's the thing is, I think sometimes people think that, like, putting in the work to, get after it with people, like, has to be like, oh, we have to go do the work and stuff. I have to go talk to this person. It's like, no, like, we can have freaking fun, dude. And I just think it's so exciting to, like, be able, like, unleash, like, my charisma and just be like, I can be myself, quote unquote, by just being able to unleash my charisma and like kind of step into that and be like, no, like you want me to do my thing. You want me to actually like unleash my charisma and I want you to do yours. But the thing is, if someone else is a little bit afraid of like releasing their charisma, if you release yours, what does that say? It's okay for them to release theirs.
Wow.
Which means you're going to have way more fun if you release your charisma. Dude, like,
oh, dude.
This is, like,
that is so well said.
Dude, I'm so excited for what's going to go. Like, just picture what it would look like if like a whole bunch of men that were really trying to improve their lives and stuff and really get after it were to like unleash their charisma on people. So then those people could also unleash their charisma and just like how absolutely fun that would be. That'd be so dope. Like
just a room full of guys,
dude,
genuinely just in there.
Yeah, just freaking, you know.
It's kind of how our Dangerous Men's Club nights are, honestly.
Yeah, it's like, it's not necessarily like a lot of people will say like shooting the shit, but like sometimes shooting the shit is just like guys having beers complaining about how their life sucks.
Yeah.
It's more like freaking shooting the stars, man. It's more like, man, we want to have a good ass time, and you know, have a dope life and do dope shit. Like,
yeah,
you know, and that's, I think that's just so inspiring. And I think it all just starts with like, hey man, I'm just gonna let like the thing that I enjoy and how I interact with people kind of come out. And like, yeah, some of my jokes might be like a little edgy or like might offend you just a little bit, but I'll get a little rise out of you, and it'll make you feel like it's okay for you to let out your charisma, and I think it will change lives, honestly.
It really will. You know, I want to end with this quote, guys. And I think this really kind of wraps a lot of what we're talking about here. I don't know who this is from, but it's badass. It says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
If that liberation isn't claiming your greatness, I don't know what is. So with that, claim your motherfucking greatness, dude.
Share the show if you want to help other men embrace danger and become truly great. You've been listening to The Dangerous Man. Join us next time. Until then,
claim your greatness
and stay dangerous.